So this was this was how previously it was tracked. So this is a table, and these are the people who are the interviewees. So people are reaching out to them. Coordinators are the one who are talking to them, region, and this is just a general status, whether a response is received from them or we have just sent the form or comms in progress. So this is the kind of status tracking we can do before we have something in hand, like even if before we have a draft for the blog. And once we have a draft for the blog, like Jason suggested last time, the better way would be to start with the markdown document first, because yeah, I mean, that's how they went did it last time. So I have added 2 example here. So this was a markdown document from Devan himself when he was doing a similar effort. So similar thing, when we have a draft ready for the blog, we can provide this to the reviewers in the SIG ContribEx to have an initial review. And once we have certain pointers to improve, and then we know, like, okay, this can be a final, this is ready for a final review, then we can raise a PR and that can go in the board. So what do you think?
So I think from beginning to end, there should be an issue, right? Like if we're tracking this right, even if like you can just drop the HackMD like link in the comments and we can work on proofreading it there and just have, you know, a process of, hey, I've done this, you know, everybody checks in on the issue itself that has been proofread, because there is some coordination that does have to happen beforehand. It'd be great to get that captured so that we can in the future understand like how much coordination is involved in getting some of this done, because we can definitely try and make this a more streamlined process.
Yeah, I think the issue is already present in GitHub. If you could see the board, the issue is there. The conversation has also continued from there. Only Nikita recently commented on there. That's where we reinitiated that. I guess while we put the PR on, we can link to that issue. And yeah, this one, this is already present. So while we put here the issues, we can just put this issue number and it gets tagged along with them. Yeah,
that makes more sense. Also, I have one question, just adding to it. So it was suggested that we will have one blog per region. So we'll reach out to say 10 people from one country, say India, and then we'll collect responses from all those 10 people, create blog posts for 10 responses, and then we'll compile them in one single blog. Are we going to do that? Like 10 people, or are we trying to limit a certain number to one blog and then there will be another blog for yeah? So because we can't wait, say we have 5 responses and then we know there are 2 more people we have reached out to, and so we can't, it would be useless to keep waiting for other like who are taking time, so we can have another blog post. So what do you think? 5 people, 5 responses per blog per region, so multiple blogs per region, but 5 in one, something like that, some X number in one.
Yeah, I mean, what the number is, it kind of depends on the skill sets, I feel like, too. So I don't know if there's a magic number, but I know that you could have too many chefs in the kitchen, for lack of a better term. So I would say like 3 to 5, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we can do something like maybe over every 2 weeks we can have a review. Okay, we have 3, so 3 responses or three blog posts ready, 3 different responses per blog post ready, and then we can compile them. And then, or maybe every month we can check, okay, we have 5 responses, so we can post a blog every month, maybe, if we manage to have that many responses.
Yeah, the hard part is going to be getting the responses.
Yeah.
Right. Let's focus on that first, and then we can tackle whatever issues come up as a result of the volume of responses. I think that's the right approach here.
So
But yeah,
it would be
yes,
per
we would
issue,
mention
per
the names of the interviewees in the blog post. Sorry, Priyanka. I didn't mean to talk over, but to answer the question in chat, yes, we would mention the names of the interviewees in the blog post. I can't imagine not doing that. But
Yeah,
if the interviewees are like 5 people, that's going to make it very interesting, I feel like, for the blog team.
yeah, that would be another task to how to format 5 responses in one blog. Yes. Yeah. So let's just start with it, and then we can, once we have a couple of blog posts ready, like per responses, we can try some formats, have some runs, review runs, and then we can decide. Yeah.
So one personal experience has been with SIG Note Spotlight. This might be a bit different, but when I presented questionnaires to 4 folks, expecting like individual responses, 2 of them were busy, and then the other 2 divided up the questions between themselves, and they didn't answer 2 questions. So they just focused on unique questions. I think from the editors, whoever is editing the blog, it might be more work to combine the answers, or if the answers overlap, um, the the compiling or the editing might be a headache, if it's not just a copy paste of all the uh, blocks as a module to form that blog post.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion, actually, because if we did have 5 different responses to the same question and they're all generally the same answer, which one do you choose? Right? Or at that point, you're now making a more correct answer to the question, which might not be the best thing for the blog, right? So that is a good point to want of like actively split up the questions if you have multiple respondees to their unique area of focus, if possible.
Yeah, that's something new. I just understood, because so far this while I was understanding, there'll be say 5 sections in the blog. So every separator, after every separator will have a different person's responses in kind of a, say, formatted manner, just like compact manner. Like we'll collect maybe this big answers, but it will just compact it. Yeah, but that's what I thought first time, but now it makes more sense. That's something we will consider.
Cool.
Thank you, Dewan.
Yeah, Dewan, and I'll ask you this question from chat. Any tips, suggestions for the coordinators, especially first timers?
I think this is in the context of how to reach out and get the answer, right?
I believe so. Kunal, could you?
Yes, like reaching out to people and like
Got it.
convincing them to take out time.
I'll echo what Kathleen told me, and that's basically like giving them more options. First options is in terms of time frame, so be respectful of their time frame because they have their regular work. So just leaving it open that, hey, no rush, this is just something we're doing for XYZ, and feel free to let me know an ETA or even not. The second thing is providing flexibility in terms of type of response. Some of them are comfortable just writing the answers themselves. Some of them probably won't prefer writing. They'll say, I can hop on a quick 10-minute call and I'm going to tell you my answers, and could you please do the writing yourself? So I think if we allow more flexibility, that would help us get more answers.
Yeah.
And that's a feedback I got from Kathleen, which worked perfectly for me.
Yeah, and if they do respond, and want to get on a call, we can always get a transcript of that call too to help you out. That's we have many ways to do that. Okay, so I went to, sorry, Priyanka, are you done with everything? Okay. I'm like multitasking, so I'm not following along in the doc, sorry. Let's see. Did I put the doc? I'm doing so much KubeCon stuff today, it's weird. So I went to the retrospective for the 122 release. I went to the retrospective, and they mentioned, they being the release team, that one of the positive things they did was getting out in front of the deprecations and removals, right? So like telling people in advance, like, this is what we have planned for 122. Here's what's getting, you know, going from alpha to beta, beta to, you know, GA, whatever you want to call it. Like that's always going to be something that happens during the release from this point forward, it sounds like they're going to put out that blog post in advance. I said that we can help with that in the future, and Caslin is on the 122 team, so that actually works out pretty well. So she might reach out to any of us really for help there at any given point, so just be aware of that. And I think that's all I got, folks. It's already 11:46. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Dewan, anything that do you think I'm missing? Sorry.
No, I think the same thing I mentioned last week, I mentioned to you as well. Thanks for the SIG multi-cluster, all the raw files. Since I already have a hanging PR on SIG node, I probably won't create another PR and just add to their workload. What I'll do is probably ask around on how we can help SIG docs go over PR reviews faster. And then I can like, for me, it'll take half a day probably. So as soon as I have some progress on the SIG node PR, I can start on the SIG multi-cluster.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I'll put my notes in here about the retrospective in just a minute after the call. Anything else anybody wants to bring up before we wrap this up?
I just want to repeat one thing. So we'll do async conversations on this. So if anybody wants to start working on this, just put a comment in the thread that we already have in ContribEx that, okay, I am talking to this person, and just put just put the relevant information in the doc as well. And yeah, so we can take it forward from there.
So about what Debas said, are we going to post some messages in the respective channels about we are looking for folks who speak native languages? So are we going to, yeah.
There should be some coordination there, yeah.
Yeah, I feel,
so because I'm drafting some text. Oh, sorry to cut you. Yes, go on.
No, go ahead. I'll just continue after that.
So I was saying that I'm currently drafting some text, drafting some text, so we could post them in the channels mentioned. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I think I would suggest while we are asking people for translation, we need to, because at the moment this is particularly discussed in INDEF channel, which is Indian folks. So we also need to reach out to people to participate as well. So maybe a third, while you are drafting some words, maybe we could draft some messages to reach out to people who are interested in participating, or maybe who are interested to interview or help us with getting some interviews and something like that. Yeah, because at this moment we do not have anyone from other than India, so we need to do something to actually start spreading this word out to people from different countries, different regions. That's another point on the radar. I have put this in the document. Yeah.
Yeah, I specifically have drafted for other languages. I've specifically mentioned we are looking folks who speak Mandarin, Urdu. Yeah, so I'm planning to do that. So I will draft formal text and will tell you.
Yeah, put this under the open discussion or suggestion part, and then let's have a discussion on that in the doc or in the Slack. Then proceed with that. After that.
Yeah, totally fine.
Well, Google Docs is just kicking my butt today. It's been one of those weeks. All right, I won't hold up the meeting anymore. Thank you all for joining. I hope you're all well and staying safe as possible out there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Dewan and I are always around-ish. And obviously, you can always reach out to Caslin or Matthew or anybody else that's on the team here for help. Thank you, Priyanka, for all the work you did during the meeting and are going to do in the future. So looking forward to that.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. I'll stop recording now. And if you want to stick around and chat for a little bit, feel free.